We have a lot to talk about today. I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Becky Webb. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much here for tuning in. And we have a lot to talk about today. Severe weather threat finally returns into the forecast this weekend. And then we have a huge flood concern through much of Thursday. You don't want to miss it. You want to watch this entire video to get you on the latest information. Let's go ahead here and get started. Hopefully you enjoyed the last couple of days as they were relatively dry. But now we're in the back again, the threat for severe weather. We are looking at a marginal risk level 1 out of 5 for severe weather through much of the western North Carolina mountains, upstate South Carolina, and in North Carolina Piedmont, as well as our East Tennessee counties. This is a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather. So main threats includes winds 55 to 65 miles per hour with any thunderstorm that does develop. So again, you want to make sure you have ways to receive weather warnings through much of today. And keep it tuned to High Weather as we'll provide with the latest weather information, the latest forecasts, and so much more. Let's go ahead here and look at the latest categories here, see if there's any tornado outlook or hail outlook. I would probably say most likely not. This is probably most likely a wind threat. So I previewed some of the categories here because I didn't want to waste your time. I want to get as accurate as possible with these forecasts here. And looking out of all here at the latest outlook here at this time, we're watching a threat. Winds of 55 to 65, even upwards of 70 miles per hour with any thunderstorm that does develop. Not really the 70 mile per hour mark, that was more something I accidentally said. Winds 55 to 65 miles per hour with any thunderstorm that does develop. Again, scattered thunderstorms are in the forecast through much of today. Watch to the end of this video as we'll give you the latest timing and what to expect from these storms, looking at the latest GFS and other forecast models here as well, so you really don't want to miss that. Then the threat continues into much of upstate South Carolina and the North Carolina Piedmont. We're watching a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather, the same kind of threat that we were watching here throughout much of Friday. So again, this is a level 1 out of 5. Main threats includes winds 55 to 65 miles per hour with any thunderstorm that does develop. And again, same concern through much of today. Actually, I didn't mention this previously, but small hail is out of all a huge concern. So again, you want to make sure you have ways to receive weather warnings throughout much of today, and keep it tuned to Howler Weather as we'll provide you with the latest information and forecast. And again, the latest forecast models will be coming up shortly, so we'll give you that latest timing there. So really want to watch out to the end of this video. Now we shift to the excessive rainfall outlook through much of Friday. I keep on forgetting today's Thursday. My whole day's been messed up. I apologize about that. We are watching a marginal risk for excessive rainfall through much of the western North Carolina mountains into the North Carolina Piedmont, upstate portion of South Carolina, except for some locations towards the central portion of South Carolina that we serve, and the North Carolina Piedmont remain under a level 2 out of 5 for excessive rainfall. So you really want to watch out for that. Have multiple ways to receive weather warnings throughout much of today and especially tomorrow if you're in the North Carolina Piedmont, upstate South Carolina, because there will be mainly that concerning threat over there as rounds and rounds of moderate to very heavy rainfall are forecasted. So again, really want to watch out with that. And again, Howler Weather will be live if necessary with severe weather coverage and flooding coverage there as well. And we'll get to the latest forecast model here in just a moment. We'll let you know the timing there in just a moment here as well. So really want to stick out to the end of this video. Looking at the latest temperature outlook throughout August 25th through the 29th, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here, we're expected to get above average temperatures here, especially in the western North Carolina mountains, East Tennessee region, upstate South Carolina, and the North Carolina Piedmont. So really want to watch out for that. Temperatures will be on the increase side after this weekend. Temperatures will be on the increase side yet again. Very, very hot. And we'll get that latest forecast there. We'll also look at the latest temperature outlook here coming up very soon. So really want to stick out and watch this video. Looking at the latest precipitation outlook throughout the next couple of weeks. Again, for the next 6 to 10 days from August 25th to 29th. We're getting above average precipitation forecasted through much of the western North Carolina mountains, upstate South Carolina, and the North Carolina Piedmont. However, towards the East Tennessee region, they're getting about an average chance of those precipitations. So again, not really as concerning throughout much of the through much of the precipitation outlook. It's going to remain a little bit drier than normal through much of August as we look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. So out of all, relatively not concerning there. But let's go ahead and look at your latest forecast models and give you that latest timing of when these storms are forecasted. And again, on this update, we'll compare forecast models here, so we'll let you know which one says which, and we'll give you at the very end of the video give you our specific time frame of what we are forecasting. So starting off the morning, this morning conditions will be relatively nice and dry. Nice day so far, but as we get closer towards 2 p.m., shower and thunderstorm activities will start to pop up mainly towards the western North Carolina mountains and the East Tennessee region. As we continue by about 5 p.m. this evening, the shower and thunderstorm chances will continue to expand, becoming that major threat, marginal risk for severe weather, especially east of Asheville. That's where we'll see the greatest chance. Upstate South Carolina and the North Carolina also included in this as well. And as we continue towards about 8, 9 p.m. this evening, the shower and thunderstorm chances should start to dissipate there. Again, some lingering shower and thunderstorm activity is possible throughout much of this evening. But again, we're watching another system by late Thursday night into Friday morning, just to the north of Asheville here. Very, very heavy rainfall. Again, some scattered thunderstorms into that forecast there as well as we continue through much of the overnight hours. That mainly sticks towards our East Tennessee region, not really making its way into our western North Carolina mountains, but by Friday morning, it's going to remain relatively nice and dry. So again, great morning to get out and do whatever you need to do. And shower and thunderstorm chances, even greater chance around Friday, 2 p.m. That's why we have that marginal risk through much of upstate South Carolina and the North Carolina Piedmont. So again, really want to watch out with that. And the shower and thunderstorm chances start to ramp up around 2 p.m. Through much of today and also much of tomorrow there as well, especially ramping up through much of tomorrow as we're looking at looks to be possibly greater chance than normal. You can see about 5 p.m. the shower and thunderstorm activities. You can see how strong it'll start to ramp up towards the Charlotte metro area, just towards the east of Spartanburg. So again, if you're traveling through much of Friday around the 5 p.m. time frame, you really want to watch out with that. Keep it tuned because severe weather is in the forecast, and we'll let you know and we'll do coverage whenever it's needed. So again, it's a greater chance, more concerning throughout much of Friday. That's also why we have that excessive rainfall outlook and marginal risk through much of the western North Carolina mountains and a slight risk towards the North Carolina Piedmont, upstate South Carolina, because then these conditions are expected to start around 2 p.m. Then we're looking at 8 p.m. this evening, and the shower and thunderstorm chances still continue there. We can see very, very concerning through much of upstate South Carolina towards the North Carolina Piedmont, portions of north of Columbia there as well getting in the activity. Then we start to see by 11 p.m. a lot of the shower and thunderstorm activity. The more concern starts to move out to the east, away from the coverage region. So again, some positive news there with that one. Some lingering shower and thunderstorm activity. Mainly showers are possible in the western North Carolina mountains there. So I mean, out of all, not really too concerning, but by 2 a.m. Saturday morning, we're going to remain relatively nice and dry, so something really to look forward to there as well. And then we continue through much of Saturday. It's going to remain a little bit drier than what we've seen. Saturday is going to be relatively dry. Still into that forecast there, but out of all, it's going to remain nice and calm. Temperatures will too. We'll get just, but again, as we continue, some shower and thunderstorm activities continue each afternoon. Actually, with Monday being relatively nice and dry, and out of all, relatively something to watch out for today and tomorrow, and then those cooler temperatures will continue. And like I said before, we're going to be comparing forecast models. So that was the ECMW, if I'm remembering it correctly. I think I forgot one letter from that. Now we're looking at the GFS model, which is many of what meteorologists and forecasters use for for these kinds of updates here. Starting off the morning around 8 a.m. when you're watching this video, remaining nice and dry conditions will remain nice and dry there as well. Then we start to see the shower and thunderstorm activity by 3 p.m. this evening. It will start to expand in coverage a little bit. Not super strong or severe like I always said before, and continue to say a lot of the thunderstorm threat will remain east of Asheville, so really want to watch out with that. Then we start to see around 5 p.m. the shower and thunderstorm activity becoming relatively strong as it exits the western North Carolina mountains there. Again, every other location is under a marginal risk for severe weather, but not everyone is going to see it. But the main threats we're watching there is outside of the mountains towards Hickory, as we appear to be some shower and thunderstorm activity. Then we start to see the GFS model is wanting to put it to super, super severe just towards the west of Charlotte there, just towards the south of Hickory here as well. So again, relatively concerning. We're looking at the forecast models here, and we'll let you know, see what the National Weather Service decides to do, if they want to extend that into a slight risk towards the North Carolina Piedmont. Again, it's too hard to tell at this time. And again, as we continue throughout much of the forecasting models here, we start to see it starts to expand in coverage outside of the coverage region, just towards the east of Charlotte, getting relatively strong and severe. This is around 9 p.m. Thursday. Shower and thunderstorm activity is continuing through much of the western North Carolina mountains, upstate South Carolina, and the East Tennessee region. So really want to watch out with that. Shower and thunderstorm chances continuing through much of the overnight hours. Mainly isolated showers continuing through much of the overnight hours there as well. Then we start to see around 9 a.m. Friday morning remaining nice and dry conditions. Really something to look forward to. But then we start to see around 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So the GFS model is actually wanting to show the severe weather threat starting off in the western North Carolina mountains there. This is also when we see that excessive rainfall outlook that is currently issued. It shows these shower and thunderstorm activities possibly making a line in the western North Carolina mountains before it makes its way into the upstate and central portion of South Carolina and the North Carolina Piedmont. Look how strong it has changed before I recorded this, so I haven't seen it this big, this bad as it is now. So check this out. It is going to become a whole line of storms. Super strong, super severe. Again, the GFS model can't really tell you that. It's a little bit too early at this point. But look at that. And it starts to really expand. That's why we have the marginal risk there towards the North Carolina Piedmont. Super strong to severe thunderstorms are forecasted to the east of Charlotte. So really want to watch out with that as we continue throughout much of the next couple of hours. Then we start to see around 9, 10, 11, still shower and thunderstorm activity continuing throughout the evening and overnight hours. Again, that's why we have that excessive rainfall outlook and the severe weather threat. Level 1 out of 5 for severe weather. That's a marginal risk. So again, it still continues through much of the evening and overnight hours before it finally starts to dry and dissipate into Saturday morning. And we'll make this as quickly as possible because this video is getting longer and longer. Starting off this morning, temperatures will be in the upper 60s, around 69 in Asheville, 77 there in Greenville, Spartanburg. But as we continue, temperatures will be relatively hot yet again. 89 there in Asheville, Greenville, Spartanburg at 96, 95 in Charlotte, and 99 in Columbia. So again, hot temperatures will continue. Cooler temperatures again throughout much of the overnight hours. Then we start to see hot temperatures through the 2 p.m. hour on Friday, which is when this severe weather threat will continue to ramp up here. 86 in Asheville, 92 in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Columbia, sitting at 101 degrees. Then we start to see the temperatures cool down there again. Then we start to see towards Saturday for that matter, temperatures will be relatively cooler as that cold front pushes its way through. 82 in Asheville, 91 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 93 in Greenwood, 93 in Columbia, 87 in Charlotte, and 89 in Hickory. So again, cooler temperatures are back into the forecast. Well, that'll do it. That'll be it for me. I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Becky Webb here. Thank you so much here for tuning in. If you notice some sort of weird difference with our lighting here, the light that's behind the computer screen here decided to go out. So it's all wonky right now, and I do deeply apologize about that. Also, some exciting news here is that I did accept a job outside of Highland Weather at a dealership, which I'm not going to go into specific detail because I don't want anyone really showing up to see me or anything like that. But I did accept that, and I'm gonna be working with the team to see when they're available to do coverage and when I'm not available, so we can still continue to keep you updated on the latest severe weather and forecasts. I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Becky Webb. Thank you so much here for tuning in. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. Check out our 24/7 monitoring system to get the latest alerts and the latest forecast there as well. That's going to be it for me tonight. I'll probably be back with another update, or today for that matter. Another in-depth video will be coming out again tomorrow to talk about that severe weather threat, more in-depth update. My video update will be posted out around 11 a.m. So really want to watch out for that. Thank you so much here for tuning in, and have a great rest of your Thursday.